Oregon is the only state that hasn't adopted any additional restrictions on abortions since the Roe v. Wade decision. Restrictions are laws passed that influence how women obtain abortions. For example, in 43 states, it's illegal to have an abortion after a specific point in pregnancy, unless medically necessary. In 42 states, the procedure must be performed by a licensed physician. These lack of restrictions are a point of pride for supporters of a woman's right to choose, but an alarming fact for abortion critics. If passed, Measure 106 would be the first abortion restriction in Oregon since Roe v. Wade. Measure 106 would prohibit women from using public dollars to get an abortion. Its passage would be part of a nationwide trend. Abortion opponents have successfully pushed more states to adopt more abortion restrictions faster than ever. 1/3 of all restrictions were adopted in the last 7 years. A brutal battle over a new Supreme Court judge has left abortion rights front and center in the national conversation.
Roe versus Wade is at risk.
How Oregon, a historically abortion rights state, votes in November will matter to concerned watchers all over the country.
What is happening in the U.S. Supreme Court?
Oregon was one of the first states to decriminalize abortion, 4 years before Roe v. Wade. Since then, Oregon lawmakers and voters have rejected attempts to impose any legal restrictions on access to abortions. Which leads us to Measure 106. Again, it would constitutionally ban using state funds for abortions. This means low-income women could no longer get abortions from the Oregon Health Plan or get an abortion using health insurance from public employers. The only exceptions would be if a mother's life is in danger or in cases of rape or incest.
It doesn't stop anyone from choosing to have an abortion. We're not banning abortion. We're just specifically going to be voting on whether we want our public funds going to fund people's personal choices.
Opponents argue the measure would primarily affect low-income women.
Measure 106 absolutely disproportionately affects low-income people in this state. And it's particularly mean because abortion coverage is mandated in private insurance in this state. So we are creating a huge haves if you have private insurance and have-nots if you have public insurance.
Supporters say more than 10,000 volunteers gathered more than 140,000 signatures to get Measure 106 on the ballot.
The more I talk to students in high schools and colleges, the students groups are getting bigger, the pro-life groups are getting bigger, and more people we talk to might be more agreeing with us.
We've had 4 other attempts to restrict access to abortion that the entire state has voted on. And the state has voted on this particular ballot measure at least twice. And each time, Oregonians have come together to say, we trust women to make the decisions they need to make for their families.
It highlights a reality that no matter what happens in November, this issue isn't going away.